Before we even begin, I'm sure you guys have an idea of what this video is going to be about. And we're all aware of the tragedy that happened a few days ago in Ahmedabad, and it's actually gut wrenching. It's shocking that something so ordinary, like an experience of taking a flight, can turn so horrific. And I think that's why people are sharing this thing so much, are so utterly devastated by it, because when things so ordinary turn catastrophic in a way, like that Kashmir incident, people have just gone on a vacation trying to enjoy time with family, and then it turns into something as they show in movies or something like that, just unimaginable, that sort of a thing. And death in any kind, in any matter, is always sad, but to go in that manner, in that way, and it's just hard to comprehend. And after that accident happened, we are seeing so many stories being shared on social media regarding particular families that were aboard, and why it crashed into a hostel, what went wrong actually, that those students were just having lunch and it came upon them. What was their fault, right? And all these messages are being circulated regarding life being fragile, that we should enjoy every moment and send messages to our loved ones, tell people when we love them, and express it more often. But this video is not going to be about that. This video is not about me telling you that life is fragile, and because it's not going to hold up, and I'll tell you why. A few months back, when that Kashmir incident happened, again it was the same reminder. This is the same thing, because because life gets busy, all of this at the end of the day just becomes news. Suddenly days would pass, weeks would pass, months will pass, and people can have days every year where they remember it. Somewhere or the other time, a news article would come up every now or then that this and this tragedy happened on this day. But then people move on with their lives, and rightly so as well. Everyone would. Even if some kind of death happens in your family, you are in denial, you are in shock, you obsessed over those thoughts. I'm recording this video at 2:52 a.m. So, as you can imagine, you're not able to get that scene out of your head. You keep imagining the hopes, the dreams people would have had, those people who were on board, those students who were just eating lunch and just picked a particular area, picked a particular seat, and then the plane dropped. Nobody could imagine that. That is how you'll go, that this is the last time you'll be having that. So you get into that compulsive thought process. You keep on thinking, and you get depressed, you get sad, but then you move on with life. Maybe you take those messages a bit seriously, what are circulating, and you do realize, yes, I should live in the present, I should live in the now, maybe I should enjoy life more. But then slowly, surely, as life it seems long, because if I talk about, nobody imagines, nobody knows when they are gonna go. And I certainly believe, very firmly believe, that in matter of when it's birth and death, we are not given a choice on how we come into this world and why we come into this world. We just come, and after a few years we realize the consciousness and everything. We start getting, oh yeah, I am this is my body, this is how I see other people. And at least I have had those existential questions regarding myself. I remember when I was growing up, I used to think, oh, this is me and who am I, why am I here, and who's God, what is God, and if there's a higher power. And okay, I am a person, I have maybe a soul, I don't know, maybe it's a concept, and you just keep on grappling with these questions. The reality, this is the home I'm given. At least I was plagued with such questions. And then you give a sense of reality and you start moving on and you keep on living. And suddenly when incidents like these happens, when traumatic incidents happen, when a wake up calls happen, you realize, oh, life is not as long as it seems. It can get to an abrupt ending, it can get stopped. Like during COVID, those 3 to 4 years of intense surroundings of when you just didn't know what will happen, when people around you were dying. And I remember people who came back from the hospitals, people who just escaped those fatal casualties of COVID, I should say. They were saved. They were hospitalized, but they were saved. There were so many people in my family as well, and I'm sure they were in your as well. They were saved, and I remember they had this renewed zest for life. Like I would live every moment, because they had seen death so closely that they vowed to, just enjoy life, be in the moment. All of those meditation books that talked about, all of those Zen people, they talk about that sort of thing. And then few years after COVID, maybe 2 years now, it has been just 2 years, right? 2 to 3 years, and people are back to the same old ways. They were how they were used to living. It's like they don't even remember how closely they came to come to terms with death. They don't even remember that, and they're just living their life now as it was going before. So this is what I mean to say, that as this gets old, this is fresh right now, and this gets old, we'll resort to our old ways. Maybe we'll be precautious for a while, like I won't take a flight by Air India because it's a sort of a taboo or something, like, and maybe you'll avoid that. But then for how long? Maybe you'll avoid taking flights, maybe you'll avoid flying but how long? Somewhere, sometime, maybe it's an emergency, maybe it's for a business meeting, maybe you want to meet your children or anything. So eventually you will overcome that. You will overcome your fear of flying or getting into specific flights or just living your life normally. You will get over that. And once you do, all these messages of being in the moment, of texting people you love very often, tell them, of not fighting, of always wishing, these will evaporate as you begin to live your life, because you're a human at the end of the day. Of course you're gonna get angry, of course you're gonna show emotions, of course you're gonna hurt people and want to hurt them, of course you're gonna love people and everything, and all those emotions, both the positive and negative emotions, you'll exhibit them both, because that's life. Life is not just positive, life is not just being always in the moment, always being happy. Life is also about being sad. Life is also about being just taking a few days and being down and just wishing. Sometimes you wish, like, why am I even here, or what's the point of all this? Life is also about those nihilistic moments, so to speak. So it won't always be happy-go-lucky, it won't always be that. Of course you can try to achieve that, of course you can strive, but I do believe if you are, unless and until you're wholly immersed in that experience, as in you're doing meditations 8 to 10 hours a day, or you are doing you're going towards the journey of enlightenment, or you're going towards the devotion of figuring out your life and the meaning of life, I think unless you're on that path, it's just a hard battle to fight. It's just a goal which is so insurmountable, because once you're living your life, once you're doing your duty towards your family, towards your children, towards yourself, of enjoying life, living your life as a normal person who's working, who's taking care of family and everything, it just becomes an everyday skill. Yes, you can meditate for every day. Yes, everything that is doable, but it still seems that it's always like I say, happiness is a skill. So it's always like going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Maybe 8 steps ahead, 2 steps back, something like that. It's always a journey. Like you won't reach that final destination with this. So what is something that can be taken from this incident to apply to our lives, to us, that is practical, that is doable, that's gonna stick with us, and that's gonna help us? So, there was this mention of a girl who was supposed to be on the flight, but she missed it due to being late from traffic. She was like 10 minutes late. And she mentioned in the news that people were tagging her as a miracle survivor as well. And that she missed the flight due to traffic. And when she was driving away from the airport, being heartbroken, that angry that her money got wasted, she was not allowed in the flight and all. The news came from the crash that happened, and she said that I'm so lucky, I'm just not able to react, and very because of the incident that happened, that it could have been her there as well, in such a close call, and she was just saved by a fluke of fate, or whatever you want to call it. And just from at that incident, and we have all been there. We have been there when our flights got missed. We have been there when we didn't get the job we wanted so desperately. We have been there when we couldn't marry the person or just be with that person with whom we wanted to be. We've all been there where we have yearned for something so much and it just slipped from our hands. And we have been there when things have not gone according to our plan. We have been through all the financial losses. We all have been through multiple such incidents. And most of the times during these incidents, we wallow, we get angry, we express, and just get stuck in that loop most of the times and blame ourselves. Whether any kind of loss we face, we are like, why did it happen to us? Why and why? And I think the only thing we need to apply is that whatever happens for us and not to us. And as long as we stick to this, as long as we believe in this, we apply this wholeheartedly, and almost instantly we'll be in a much better place, because that's the only thing in our hand. Life is 90% reaction to things that happen to us. So if we can control what's in our hand, we cannot control when we are gonna go from this world. We have no control what's gonna happen on roads or at any point in our lives. The only thing we can control is whatever the environment we are in, whatever the circumstances are happening around us, within us, we have a full grasp of it, in the sense we accept it, we embrace it, we allow it in our lives, and we make the best of it. I think that's the only thing we can do. And I think acceptance is a very big part of it. Accepting that it's happening for me, that somewhere this is written in my path, somewhere this is a blessing for me, even though it seems bizarre, even though it seems why it happened to me, even though it seems against my being, my wants, my needs, it's still for me. So if you believe that your life is being designed in some other way, if you believe in this, I think this would help. So yeah, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you guys soon.